Yo, welcome back guys. In this video, I try to beat Terraria using minions only. Hope you enjoy. So to get things started, I chopped down some trees for wood. Since I'm playing Terraria in version 1.4, it'll be a lot easier to acquire my first summoner weapon, which is the Pygmy Staff. I won't have to search for the slime statue, so thank god. I walked towards the right side to find 2 living wood trees. This meant I had a pretty good chance of getting the Pygmy Staff, however, I wasn't able to explore down since I had no torches. It was completely dark and the rule is that I cannot kill anything without having a summoner weapon, so I can't just kill a slime to make torches with my sword. This ended my exploration of the right side of the world for now. I decided to go left hoping to find maybe a cave with some pots, but instead I found another 2 living wood trees. Inside the chest were some torches, so now I'll be able to see inside the trees. Inside the very first living wood tree chest was the Pygmy Staff, and not just any normal Pygmy Staff. It had the mythical modifier on it, the very best modifier it could possibly have. With this weapon in hand, I'll be able to start killing some monsters. I spent the entire rest of the day building a house. Since I had the living wood tree wand, I thought about making it tree-like themed. I then went to the desert to collect some cacti to later on make the cactus armor. After collecting enough, I made my way into the jungle. I mined a few ores and also found a life crystal. I wanted to keep mining deeper, but without much health and gear, I would get killed almost instantly. So I teleported back home and made some armor as well as upgrading my pickaxe to lead. It's now time to move on to the next step, and that is to acquire a different summon. The Pygmy Staff was just way too inconsistent at dealing damage, so I'll be heading over to the ice biome to kill some snowflakes. I'll be needing their fur to craft the Flink Staff and the Flink's fur coat. As soon as I made it to the ice biome, I found a gold chest near the surface, but unfortunately there wasn't anything much of use. In the underground ice biome, I found another life crystal and a spider's nest, which was perfect since I'll be coming back here when I enter hard mode. I then found an ice chest that contained the flurry boots and a suspicious looking eye. With the flurry boots, I'll be able to defeat the Eye of Cthulhu with ease. I'll need to farm for some more health though. Now back to the main goal, killing some flinks. It took me quite some time to farm enough fur since these guys have a lot of health, and my finch was only dealing about 2 damage per hit. But after collecting enough, I crafted the staff and coat. I'll be able to summon 2 minions now because of the effect from the coat, and the Flink summon is a lot better at dealing consistent damage. Since I had 2 gravity potions, I decided to find some sky islands, and thankfully I was able to get the shiny red balloon and the fledgling wings. The Star Fury obviously would have been useless to me. Alright, so I pretty much have everything I need to defeat the first boss, but my health is still a bit low, so I went to the jungle to max out my health. Once I got my health to 400, I built a platform to fight the Eye Cthulhu. During the fight, I realized that my flinks were dealing 1 to 3 damage per hit, so I got a bit worried I wouldn't be able to defeat it in time. But after getting the boss to its second phase, my summons were dealing a lot more damage. Plus, a miracle happened. But I'll let you guys see for yourselves. Yeah, so I got pretty lucky. 10 more seconds later and it would have turned to morning. But anyways, I opened the bag to obtain the Shield of Cthulhu. which is going to be a very crucial accessory for a certain boss. Now it's time for me to kill the king slime for a chance to get its mount, so I went to a demon altar to craft some slime crowns. And yes, this boss also took forever to kill, but unlike the Eye of Cthulhu, it will not despawn when it hits a certain time. I just need to make sure I don't die to this boss. After my first kill, I was able to get the slime saddle, so I was pretty happy about that. The next boss I'll be fighting is the Eater of Worlds. This boss will take even longer to kill than the others, so I built a platform in the sky to damage the boss safely. I also switched back to the Finch Staff since it could pass through the boss. Now that I have shadow scales, I made the nightmare pickaxe. I then made my way to the hell because that's where I'll be getting my next summon. I mined some hellstone and obsidian to make hellstone bars to then make the imp staff. This staff is a huge upgrade. It has 21 damage plus the summons can shoot projectiles that can set enemies on fire. Skeletron is the next boss I will be fighting. I built an arena and then began the fight. After defeating Skeletron, I now have access to the dungeon. I was able to find everything that I was looking for, the bewitching table that increases my max summon by 1, and the cobalt shield. When I got back home, there was a goblin invasion. It didn't take too long to defeat them, but afterwards I went underground to look for the goblin tinkerer to start combining some of my accessories. Once I found him, I bought rocket boots and the workshop from him. I combined the rocket boots and the flurry boots to make the spectre boots, and then the shiny red balloon and cloud in a bottle to make the cloud in a balloon. Now for the next long while, I built a very long platform in hell to fight the wall of flesh. I didn't know how fast or slow I was going to kill it, so I just wanted to make sure I didn't run out of platform to run on. I then replaced some of my ninja gear with some molten armor just for a bit more defense. I summoned the boss and then right clicked one of the eyes. If you guys didn't know, hitting the eyes deal much more damage than hitting the mouth. After defeating the wall of flesh, I am now in hard mode. I opened the treasure bag and surprisingly got every single summoner item, the firecracker and summoner emblem. However, this video is about beating Terraria with only minions, so I won't be using the firecracker. I went back to the spider's nest since they will now drop spider fangs. These fangs will be used to craft a new set of armor and a weapon. After collecting some fangs, I crafted the spider staff. This weapon deals much more damage at a faster pace. I then made the spider mask, but then I had to go back and collect some more fangs to finish off the set. Each piece of armor increases my max minions by 1, so now I can summon a total of 5 minions. That is if I use the bewitching table. Afterwards, I broke some demon altars to spawn in some cobalt, orichalcum, and titanium. I then mined the hard mode ores. I only plan to use them to craft the orichalcum anvil and titanium forge. After making the anvil and forge, I noticed a very distinct flower. I knew exactly what it was. It was Abigail's flower. This is a weapon that summons a ghost that deals more damage the more minion slots you have. Alright, now it's about time to take on the Destroyer. I chose this boss since it'll be the easiest to kill with my spiders. I can't imagine my spiders being able to deal damage to the twins or Skeletron Prime since they move really fast and they can fly. So just like the fight with the Eater of Worlds, I'll be using the same strategy. Before I fight the next 2 mechanical bosses, I needed a summon that could fight in the air, and the perfect minion to do that is the Sanguine Staff. But in order to get the staff, I had to kill the Dread Nautilus, a mini-boss that can only be found while fishing during a blood moon. Building a small box like this will keep me safe from most of its attacks, and having a ton of life regen objects like the Heart Lantern, Campfire, and Honey will keep me alive. These minions will rush towards an enemy, dealing damage and then returning back to me. Now with the summon, I'll be able to take on the twins and Skeletron Prime with ease. After I defeated the twins, I summoned Skeletron Prime right after. I now have all the souls from the mechanical bosses, so I crafted the Optic Staff. It did do less damage than the Sanguine Staff, so I wasn't sure whether or not to stick with it, but I did use it a couple of times. It's time to upgrade my fledgling wings into better ones, so I killed some wyverns for their souls to make demon wings. I made my way back into the jungle to search for the Pantera bulb. Once I found it, I blew up an area to fight her in. After the fight, I opened the treasure bag and received the Pygmy Staff. This weapon is considered better than both the Optic Staff and Sanguine Staff, but I'd say in certain situations only. Alright, now that Pantera has been defeated, the next two main goals will be to gather enough spooky wood from the Pumpkin Moon event to make spooky wood armor and to defeat Duke Fishron. I have all the materials except ectoplasm to make the Pumpkin Moon medallion, so I gathered some in the dungeon. Then I caught a truffle worm in the mushroom biome to then summon Duke Fishron. So during the fight, the first and second phase weren't that bad. I just needed to get it to its third phase and then it'll be easy sailing from there. With the Shield of Cthulhu, I'll be able to dodge most, if not all, of its attacks. After defeating Duke Fishron, I opened the treasure bag and got the Tempest Staff. With this, I'll be able to farm the Pumpkin Moon a lot better. It took me about 3 Pumpkin Moon events to finally be able to get enough spooky wood. I then crafted the Spooky Armor set. This set will give me a lot more defense, more damage, plus an additional 1 minion slot on top of my 5 that I had already. I also got the Raven Staff from the event, but I think the Tempest Staff is still better. I did, however, use it against Golem. After defeating Golem, I killed it a few more times, just for some extra gold. Now it was time to take on the Lunatic Cultist. Unfortunately for this boss fight, my minions won't target the real one, so I manually have to summon a minion on top of the actual boss to stop him from summoning a spectral dragon and duplicating. I also dragged the boss near the ocean where I can use my mount that I got from Duke Fishron to be able to dodge his attacks better. I then went on to destroy the celestial pillars, starting with the Stardust, since it's the only pillar that will give me materials to make my very last summons. I made the Stardust Dragon Staff and the Stardust Cell Staff. I then destroyed the Vortex Pillar next, then the Nebula. However, I didn't destroy the Solar Pillar just yet. I made a house in the jungle for the Witch Doctor. Once he spawned, I purchased the Pygmy Necklace and Hercules Beetle from him. I summoned the Pumpkin Moon once again and got the Witch's Broom, a mount that has infinite flight. This mount will be very important against Moonlord. I also got the Necromantic Scroll. It's an accessory that increases my minion slot by 1 and gives 10% more damage from summoner weapons. I then combined the Beetle and Scroll to make the Papyrus Scarab. I now have a total of 8 minions. Afterwards, I destroyed the Solar Pillar and then waited for Moonlord to spawn. With the Witch's Broom, I'll be able to dodge Moonlord's lasers much easier. And there we go guys, I was able to beat Terraria using minions only. If you've enjoyed watching the video, consider leaving a like, comment, and also subscribing to the channel. Thanks everyone, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.